Welcome to the Patterson Library Connection. In this episode, we'll be bringing you good news, library happenings, talking to fun and interesting guests, and connecting with our Patterson community. I'm Lily Misenti, the PR and event coordinator here at the library. In today's episode, author, educator, travel guide, and entertainer Tara O'Grady joins us to talk about her inspiring book, Migrating Towards Happiness, her upcoming fall concert at the library, and what comes next. Thanks for joining us. Let's get started. Hi, Adam.
Hey, Lily.
So how's summer going so far?
So far, so good. We got to go to the Cape last week with my cousins, my aunt, my uncle, and all the little kids. And so we got some different temperatures up there and some beach weather. Got the beach in.
Oh, nice. I have not been to the beach yet. Can't wait to go.
Oh, my gosh.
Hopefully soon.
I wish the water was a little warmer. You know,
the Cape's always cold.
It's always cold. New York, too. Long Island is a little cold for me. When I was a kid, I could do it. Now I can't do it.
I know. We used to go to Maine and we would freeze in the water, but we loved it anyway. So now we have a boat. We go out on the boat. I don't really go in the water, but it is great to be out there. So I love it.
But you get the boat breeze and some mist, right?
Yeah. I just love being on the water. That's my favorite thing to do. It's my happy place on Long Island Sound. So it's awesome.
That sounds amazing. We wanted to go on a boat. We tried to wrangle everybody, go on a boat, rent a boat for once. Let's go out. Let's go. And it didn't happen. The weather wasn't great. And we're not the best mariners, yet. So we're didn't want to take the risk. But I think Long Island Sound sounds great, though.
It's beautiful. It really is such a gorgeous place. We visit all the time. We go out of Norwalk and then up the coast a little bit. So it's just fun. It's a great way to spend the day.
And it beats the traffic to Long Island, I bet.
You know what? We go visit my brother John, who lives out in Northport, and we go across the Sound. In 40 minutes, we're there and no traffic. So it is the best way to travel to Long Island.
Can I tag along next time?
Absolutely.
We actually have friends near Northport. And when I grew up, we always went to the beach with Jones and Robert Moses, and we'd always stop in Northport. What is it with Northport? And we go to the ice cream shop there and go down to the docks. Oh,
it's such a great little town. I'm glad you're having a great summer. So we've been really busy here at the library. A lot of things happening all summer long. So it's been good.
I mean, it's a whirlwind. It's going by so fast. I can't believe it.
It is. It really is. It's already mid-July, and we've got a month and a half left. That's it. Well, really, technically, we go through September, right?
That's right.
Yeah, but I always feel like I'm still in school, and we're going back to school, and summer's over. So, welcome back for episode number 4.
I'm ready for it. This is going to be a good one.
Yes, it is. I'm excited. We have a great guest today. But first, now it's time for some good news. So one of the new things that started here at the library a couple of weeks ago was Meals on Main Street, and the Putnam County Cornell Cooperative Extension are coming to the library every Tuesday from 10 to 12. They deliver fresh food from New York farmers for free. It's such an amazing service. The truck arrives and it's filled with fresh produce, eggs, cheese, pies, and more. There's so much stuff on this truck, and the volunteers are great about handing it out to anybody who comes from 10 to 12. So we're just happy to be able to provide this service and work with them on this. And so we're happy to be able to share this with our community, and so thankful to Meals on Main Street and the Putnam County Cornell Cooperative Extension. And then we are having a puzzle swap. So for all you puzzle enthusiasts, the Patterson Library Friends is hosting a puzzle swap on Friday, August 2nd from 2 to 4 p.m. You can drop off puzzles from July 22nd to July 29th at our front desk. And for every puzzle you drop off, you'll receive a ticket, up to 5 tickets. And you can swap those tickets for free puzzles on August 2nd. We just ask that your puzzles are in good condition and that you have counted all the pieces. And if you don't have a puzzle to swap, you can still come on August 2nd and buy a puzzle for $1. This helps support the Patterson Library Friends. And don't forget, the Patterson Farmers Market is back every Friday from 3 to 7 p.m. on the lawn adjacent to the library. This is their 3rd year, and many of the popular vendors are back. There's amazing baked goods and produce, flowers, and delicious seafood from Hooked Seafood, and a lot more. There are a lot of other new vendors there this year. So stop on by on Friday from 3 to 7 p.m. In case you missed it, our outdoor performance with the Calpulli Mexican Dance Company was a great success. Over 100 people came, and I was really surprised that many people came because it was so hot. But it was a fantastic night. People came and they picnicked in the park. People bought food from the Iguana food truck and Uncle Luigi's ice cream, and the show was amazing. The beautiful costumes, the music, the stories about the significance and the history of the dances was so fascinating. Kids and adults were dancing and singing along, so it was just such a fun night. So thank you again to the Putnam Arts Council for their help in funding the event. It was wonderful and enjoyed by so many people in this community. And that's our good news. And now I'd like to introduce you to our special guest, Tara O'Grady. Welcome, Tara, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, Tara, you are an author, educator, travel guide, entertainer, and you have toured the world performing and sharing your stories. Tell us how you became interested in doing all of these things you do.
I don't know. I was just born this way. When I was a kid, I would walk around my neighborhood in Queens with a little notepad like a journalist, and I would interview old people on my block. So I think I was always a storyteller. I come from an Irish family, and you have to be able to do something in an Irish family at a family party. So whether it's sing a song, tell a story, dance, play an instrument, be funny. If you can't do any of that, cook, bake, serve the Guinness, whatever it is that you have to do. So it's just part of my upbringing.
Oh, that's funny. Coming from an Italian family, I got an accordion when I was 5. So I had to perform at everything too. So I get that. We all had to do something. But your story is really fascinating. Last week, you were here to meet the members of our Travelers Book Club. And we had such a wonderful time discussing your book. And the book is Migrating Towards Happiness, which was not only selected for 2 of our book clubs, but also our community read. And it's such an inspiring and an uplifting story. Tell us about it and how you came to write that.
So, as I mentioned, my Irish family, I grew up, my mom was born in Donegal, Ireland, and my dad was born in the Bronx, and I was raised in Queens. And every summer I went home to Ireland to stay with my mom's parents. But my dad's mom died before my parents even met. And he had been telling me about this road trip that they took in 1957. So at that time, my dad would have been 16. And his Irish-born mother, she didn't have a driver's license. But she had seen movies back in Ireland that made her want to see the wild American West. So when she met my Irish grandfather in New York City, and they married. He was the only Irishman she knew out of the Depression that had a car. And so by 1957, when my dad was a teenager, he owned a 57 Chevy Bel Air. And that's like my favorite car just from movies and seeing it at car shows. And so she told him she wanted to get her license. And he said no. And so she secretly got her driver's license. She got people from his job to teach her how to drive. And she took his car and drove across America. She drove all the way to Washington State near Spokane. And so I grew up hearing these stories of what that road trip was like, and I wanted to replicate it. So that's how the book idea started.
Well, the book is wonderful and it's fascinating. The whole story is so interesting, but I love how you got Chevy to participate in this. Tell us about that, how they gave you the car. I love the video you produced, and it was just really incredible that you got them to do this. So
in the book, I talk about how on the first page, how I was laid off from my job. And I realized, well, before I start looking for another job, I can probably go do this road trip that I've always wanted to do. And I owned a Toyota at the time. And I thought, you can't do a Chevy road trip in a Toyota. So I wrote a song, made a music video, put photographs of my Irish granny on her road trip, pictures from Yellowstone and all across the country. And I sent it to GM headquarters in Detroit. And I found out that it was their 100th anniversary that year. And I thought, oh, this is perfect. So I turned it into, I'm going to honor Chevy if you help me honor my family. And we're a Chevy family, so lend a gal a ride. And they responded within only 1 week. And they said, do you want a convertible Camaro, a Silverado pickup truck, or an Equinox SUV? And I said, I want all three. And they gave them to me, but of course not to keep, but I was almost like a Chevy ferry going across the country because they gave me merch to hand out to anytime I saw like in a parking lot other Chevy drivers, I would leave stickers or t-shirts or posters on their car, and they had no idea why they were there. But I loved handing out all this free stuff.
It is such a great part of the story. And it's amazing how many Chevy Bel Airs you saw on the journey across the country. Throughout the book, you mention all of the sightings, and it was amazing.
Well, when I saw the Bel Airs, I believed, like the story is all about chasing my granny's spirit, and it became a symbol of her spirit. So when I saw a Bel Air every single day, it was always a different color. So it's not the same one that was following me. And so, I would only see it when I pulled up to a hotel where she had stayed, or a restaurant where she had eaten, or a road that she had gone on, or a destination. So when I went off track and I was not on her path, I wouldn't see a Bel Air. And if I brought it up, if I said, I wonder why I'm not seeing it, there it would appear as a rusted out thing sitting under a tree in the middle of Montana. And I was like, okay, obviously my grandmother's spirit is talking to me.
Sure. I'm a big believer in signs and messages too. So the book really spoke to me in so many ways. And to the other members of the book club, when we discussed it, everybody could relate to signs and things, and it just is meaningful in so many ways. So your connection to your grandmother, and you said it's a part of your spiritual journey across the country as well. And you saw so many of the places she saw. Which one was your favorite?
Oh, wow. No one's ever asked me that. Goodness, we were in the Badlands, we were in the Dakotas, and then we were in Yellowstone, and Montana is pretty awesome. Cody, Wyoming was really amazing. And I got to ride horses there. And I'm allergic to horses. But she rode a horse at some point in the road trip, not in Cody, but I know that it was somewhere. So I was trying to do everything that she did. Even she had her first milkshake and burger. This was 1957. The highways only just opened up. Women did not leave the kitchen. They didn't leave their husbands to go fend for themselves. She was gone for 7 weeks. Chevy only gave me 3 weeks, and I had to return the vehicles. So that was hard. I had to drive 10 hours a day just to do that. But it was, even getting out to Seattle, I went all the way to Seattle, and I felt like I was you're at the edge. America is so darn big. People who visit here don't even realize you can't, even a road trip in New York State is going to take you forever because you're going up and down and east and west. But it was just amazing to see what's out there. And then you start thinking about all the people who have come to this country. My grandparents were immigrants. And not only was I chasing her spirit, I was also trying to find out, this was 2011 when I did it. And I was just trying to find out, does the American dream still exist, the one that she came to America for? And I met people from all walks of life. And I found out that, it doesn't matter what state you're from or even what country. We're all just looking for the same thing. It's all about hope. It's all about love. It's all about sharing food with your family, telling stories, watching sunsets, baseball, hot dogs. That's what it was all about.
It's true. And you did such a good job depicting that in the book. We walked away with that same thought, how we really are all the same and we want the same things. Well, you took this journey with your friend Lauren, and it was really interesting to see. I love by the end of the book how you said you kind of even needed a little bit of a break from each other. And it was funny how it was life-changing for her as well. So,
Yeah, she realized she didn't like living in New York City anymore, and so she said at the end of the book, I reveal that she wants to move to Ohio, and she did a few weeks later, and she found her husband on the plane on the way there. So basically, she got like whatever she wanted. But the book teaches you that like if you say what you want, if you speak to the universe and just say, okay, this is what I'd like to do, then it's all there for the taking. Just go out and do it, all the things you've always wanted to do. I made a list even in the book of all the things I want to do. And since I wrote this back in 2012, I've pretty much done all the things that's on the list. So I need to make a new list.
So you put it out there and it happens. The universe conspires sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's interesting. It was just really fascinating, all of the things you talked about. And what's interesting is each chapter of the book is a title of a song. So how did you pick the titles of the songs? Like, what made you decide those were the songs for each chapter?
I'm a singer-songwriter. I have a jazz blues band, and we also do Irish folk music that I swing like Billie Holiday. And so music's always been a big part of my life. And I'm always thinking in terms of soundtracks. So the subtitle of the book is called The Soundtrack to My Spiritual Awakening. So my grandmother, the one in Ireland that I grew up with, I call her the Donegal granny. When she died, she made herself known to me. Her spirit came to me, and it scared the heck out of me. But after that, I said, please, if you're going to visit in a gentle way. And she'd make her presence known through a specific song. And that's Stand By Me by Ben E. King. And so I could be in a Target, I could be in my car where I'll think of her, and then I'll turn on the radio and that song is playing. And it's consistent. The other granny, the one who did the road trip, the song that comes on when I think of her is Van Morrison's Into the Mystic. So when I started paying attention to these songs, then I realized, I can tell the story in that way. And it was just easy to frame the book where it starts with Billie Holiday's In My Solitude, because I was alone and I just got laid off from my job and I'm searching for meaning. And it goes on to New York State of Mind with Billy Joel, and then Don McLean's American Pie. So it's telling the story through just songs. So yeah, it goes on to, there's Elvis, there's Doris Day, Tony Bennett, John Denver. I mean, the list goes on. So I like singing the songs of the chapter titles now.
Yeah, and we can't wait to hear that. You have performed around the world. You've been at the Cork Jazz Festival in Ireland, the South by Southwest Festival in Austin. You've been in Manhattan and Budapest, and then you're coming to Patterson Library on September 19th.
Yay.
And we're so excited to have you here. We really are. And everybody can't wait to hear you. I mean, you have a beautiful voice, so we're really lucky to have you come and sing for us. And you will have a guitarist, I think, with you. And
I'll have my guitarist, and I'll be singing some of the song chapter titles, and I'll also be singing some original songs that I have 5 albums of music, so I'll sing some of those that pertain to the story and my Irish family, and even Vidar the Viking.
We were lucky enough to hear you perform that song for us by request at our book club meeting, and you had us all singing along. It's such a great, fun song. It makes me want to go to Dublin and sit in a pub and request your song. So,
oh yeah, you can. I take people to Ireland on tour, so you can come with me next time.
Yeah, I would love to. We'll talk about that in a second too, because I said you wear many hats, and in addition to being the author and entertainer, you are a travel guide. And I know you've talked about going to Ireland with the tours and cooking tours and stuff, and you also go to one of my favorite places in Ballyknocken, right? And you cook with Catherine Fulvio, who I watch on television. So I think that's fascinating.
I'm amazed you know who she is, because a lot of people don't. She just won a Taste Award in LA this year, and on St. Patrick's Day, she was on NBC with Hoda and Jenna Bush, and like, so she's a celebrity chef in Ireland. And when I took people on a foodie tour this past May to Ireland, and we stayed at her house, her farmhouse, we cooked in her kitchen. I was peeling potatoes and making sauces and doing all kinds of things in the kitchen. And we had everyone with an apron on, and some people said it was their favorite activity of the whole trip.
I'm sure. She's lovely on TV. I can imagine so in person. She seems wonderful. So
she's a hugger. She loves hugging.
She's just such a warm and friendly personality. So I can imagine cooking in her kitchen. She sounds wonderful. So I know you're a very spiritual and inspirational person, and you recently returned from the Netherlands. Another thing you do, where you attended a conference on the study of dreams. So tell me about that. Oh
yeah. So I've been writing my dreams for about 20 years. Once I started realizing that they were significant, and they weren't just like, oh, what I did today. They started becoming more showing me what was going to happen in the future. So that's what they call precognitive dreams. So if you've ever experienced deja vu, it's usually because you had a dream about, say, the encounter or the conversation, and you didn't remember the dream. But then a week later, a month later, you're having that conversation going, wait, I feel like I've done this already. It's because you did it in the dream. But those are precognitive dreams. So I went to my first dream conference in 2019, became a member of the International Association, who are, a bunch of people, everyone from India, Australia, Canada, America, all over Europe. And we've got astrophysicists, and we've got Harvard professors and psychotherapists, psychics, and then artists like me who like to take their dreams and explore their creativity and imagination. So you learn so much about yourself and your soul, because I believe it's your soul singing to you when you dream at night. And I talk about a lot of my dreams in the book, and I've learned so much about myself and the universe at large from dreaming. So now I call myself the dream girl. So I'm starting to teach people how to explore their dreams. And I'm writing a children's book about dreams too, for children.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about a workshop that you're going to offer possibly.
Yeah, I'd love to teach a children's workshop called The Art of Dreaming, and so that we teach kids, because I always hate when I hear parents go, oh no, it was just a dream. It's just a nightmare. Just ignore it. And you should never say that to a child, because dreams are ways that they can work out their growth and in the world, where they fit in. And if they have a nightmare, they need to be able to discuss it. So I do it in fun, creative ways, so that, the lions and tigers and bears are less scary, because we explore why. Most people wake up from a nightmare and they never finish what I call the movie. It's basically a movie of the mind, and that bear that's chasing you usually has something to tell you about yourself. And maybe it's just a fear that you don't want to give a presentation at work tomorrow. And that's all it is. And you just didn't see the end of the movie. So you never got to talk to the bear. You just ran away from it. So you woke up screaming. So this is why it's great to explore dreams. Because, you could keep revisiting a dream that you've had even a year or 10 years ago and learn something new about it.
For sure. And I know we've talked about a workshop that hopefully we'll do next year for adults with dreams, and same kind of thing, learning to interpret them and stuff. I just find that also interesting. So I know you've also just completed a new book. So you want to tell us about that?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I published a new book last year called The Gods of Clown Alley. And it's another journey story. It's about my Irish mom and I, who go to Sedona, Arizona, to a retreat for heart healing. She went for a vacation. She didn't go to do any therapy. I went to heal my broken heart, and the reader discovers why we both need the healing, but there's flashbacks through the whole journey to all the times I've taken her around the world, from Tokyo to Amsterdam to Charleston. I mean, I've taken her everywhere to celebrate my birthday when she gave birth to me. So I'm honoring her. So it's a mother-daughter journey, and it goes into the heart and the mind. And she was a private home care nurse. So each chapter reveals one of her patients. And she was once asked, what's your job like? And she said, it's a circus, because she says that in an Irish humorous way, because it takes a really strong individual to be able to take care of folks who have dementia and other ailments. She stayed with them till they died. So, she was with some people for 10 years, other people just 10 months. And I knew all of them from I was 8 years old until just a few years ago. So they were a part of my life too. And they become part of your family because she's caring for them every day. So I revealed to readers that we are all these creative geniuses and gods walking the earth, but we forget who we are. Like her patients who had dementia, you forget that you are this incredible being that has so much light and love, and we just walk around like these clowns at the circus, wearing these masks, wearing paint on our face, not knowing who we really are and why we're on earth and what we're here to do. And so I just go deeper into the journey of the self and the soul. And so that's what I'm interested in.
It's really fascinating. I'm about to start that book, and I know a few people from the book club are also reading it. So we look forward to hearing more about that. And where's your next tour?
I'm already planning next year. I usually spend winter in Key West. I'm big on bird watching ever since COVID, so I might be going in the midwinter down to. I found out that Texas has great bird watching on the Mexican border in February, so I might be taking my dad there because he's a birder too. And I'm also interested in going back to Spain. I talk in the book about my uncle who studied at the Irish College in Salamanca University in the 1930s. And on the road trip, I visited his tombstone way out in Spokane, Washington. So now I'm going to do a little road trip in Spain next April during my birthday month. So,
oh, that sounds great.
I love planning trips for the following year. It's like something to look forward to.
So it's interesting you celebrated on your birthday, and you'll take another journey then.
It's always good. You need to celebrate yourself. You need to celebrate life. You need to honor this journey that you're on. You're here to do extraordinary things. You're not here to just pay taxes and go to work and, mow the lawn. I mean, yes, you have to do those things, but there's so much you could be doing. And when you realize that this is an adventure, and one of the best things that every day when I woke up on that road trip, I just thought to myself, I knew I was going in a certain direction, but I didn't know what I was going to encounter each day. And I couldn't wait. I didn't know what I was going to eat. I didn't know who I was going to meet. And I knew I'd have some great conversations with strangers. And I knew I'd be in another state by sunset. And it was just exciting. So you gotta get up every day and do something new, even if it's walk a different way down the block, or go to a different restaurant, or call someone you haven't talked to in 20 years. Just do something different.
Yeah, that is so important. My dad was very much like you, and he drove all 49 of the states, and then, of course, went to Hawaii and traveled to almost every continent, and always said that not a moment or a penny is wasted on travel, and he's instilled that in us. So I agree. And I once heard that in the uncertainty lies all the possibilities. So I love that, because that's what that sense of adventure brings you. And I think not knowing what happens tomorrow or the next hour or whatever there is something exciting to that. If we just always had everything planned and we knew everything, nothing would be exciting.
Lots of people they like security. And that's an illusion. There's no such thing as security. You could lose everything tomorrow. There could be a hurricane. There could be an earthquake. You could get a health report. You could get hit by a bus. When you live in New York City, you're always worried about getting hit by a bus. That's like the biggest thing we would talk about. Mm-hmm. So you have to pretend that you don't have tomorrow, because you have no idea. So just do something extraordinary every day, even if it's exercising, getting out of bed and just like moving your joints. Like, it's because some people are like, oh, I can't do anything. I don't have money to do anything. Stop saying I can't. Remove all negative words from your vocabulary and try to do something positive, even if it's just watering the flowers in your butterfly garden, because now butterflies are going to come. That's a positive thing.
It is. It really
Hug
is.
a tree.
All that positivity you exude. It's wonderful. And I love your outlook. And that's what makes you so fun. And, you know, you're such a fascinating person. You have so much going on. If people want to learn more about you, the books, the events that you have coming up, where can they go to find out that information?
Everything is on, I've got 2 websites, actually. One is for the music. So that's if you want to see me performing, TaraO'GradyMusic.com. That lists, it's even got, music videos and all the YouTube videos, and my 5 albums. And then I've got butterflycoach.org, talks about all the different things that I'm teaching. I post articles every week. And my travels, if you want to join me on my tours. So it's all on there.
We are thrilled that you were here today. So thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
For anyone interested in joining our community read and getting a copy of Migrating Towards Happiness, you can go to our website catalog at www.pattersonlibrary.org to order it with your Mid-Hudson Library card, or you can just stop by the library. And if you want to attend Tara's concert on September 19th, you have to register for that because seats are limited and there are already some seats taken. But you can visit our website and click on calendar to register. And this performance is for adults 18 and over. So thank you so much, Tara, for being on the Patterson Library Connection. We wish you great success and look forward to seeing you in September.
Thank you. I can't wait.
Thank you for tuning in to the Patterson Library Connection. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help us grow, please share it with a friend. You can follow and subscribe to our podcast on our website at pattersonlibrary.org, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. This podcast was recorded at the Patterson Library in Patterson, New York. Special thanks to our sound engineer, producer, and composer, Adam Bernier, our library director, Stephanie Harrison, our board of trustees, and to you, our listeners. I'm your host, Lily Misenti. We'll see you next time on the Patterson Library Connection. Patterson Library trustees and staff do not promote nor endorse the opinions of our guests.